Nightly takes a look at how to save the pandas.
We will see you back here for News Channel 8 at 6. Right now, here's Tom Brokaw.
The investigation of Flight 990. The plane's voice recorder is found, but now where does the search go? We'll have answers tonight. In depth tonight, a special lifeline. What if you could stop the brain's aging process, even reverse the effects of Alzheimer's? Our series, Breaking Through, Women on the Job. She's the new CEO of Hewlett-Packard, and she has to kickstart a big company. Does it make any difference if she's a woman? And bringing up baby, a new experiment at the Atlanta Zoo to save panda cubs from extinction.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. Well, now the experts have the cockpit voice recorder from Egypt Air Flight 990. They have heard portions of it, and they still don't know for sure just what happened. The unsettling mystery goes on, and tonight the responsibility for the investigation will pass on to the FBI. That means the great suspicion is that it was a criminal act. We begin once again with NBC's Robert Hager covering all of this. Robert?
Right, Tom. Suddenly signs there may have been foul play, a criminal act, not necessarily terrorism, aboard Flight 990 after all. Some spoken reference made by the pilots to what may have been going on in the plane that caused the pilots to put the plane in that steep dive that ultimately led to the crash. That new information coming from further examination of the cockpit voice recorder. And if the information proves to be true, it could cause aviation investigators to turn this case over to criminal investigators, the FBI, by this time tomorrow. With work at sea temporarily on hold, the issue of whether the FBI might take over was raised late today by NTSB Chairman James Hall.
We are concentrating our efforts on determining from the evidence, including the cockpit voice recorder, whether or not this investigation is to remain under the leadership of the National Transportation Safety Board.
One problem that significantly slows investigators as they deal with the cockpit voice recorder.
As painstaking a process as it is to read out cockpit voice recorders, this one is made more difficult by the fact that it is almost entirely in a foreign language.
In Arabic, not easy for U.S. translators. This is the NTSB's audio lab where the cockpit recorder's being examined. Special equipment here can analyze any unusual sounds on the tape and filter out background noise to make the voices of the pilots easier to understand. Paul Turner once ran this lab.
You can filter out the sounds that tend to mask the cockpit sounds. And this is such things as engines, fan motors, this type of thing. And those can be canceled out. And then that will make the other sounds stand out better.
This as the Navy and Coast Guard pull all ships back to port today, waiting out 3 days of dangerously high seas. And with fears that many bodies may never be recovered, a Rhode Island court today clears the way at last for death certificates to be issued for all who perished.
A certificate of presumption of death in the case of Egypt Air Flight 990 is granted.
So tonight, investigators still working with that cockpit voice recorder, which may at last be yielding important clues about what caused this mysterious crash. That work, very fine, very meticulous, going on even now in the lab up on the 5th floor there at NTSB headquarters. A matter of determining precisely what was said in the cockpit, wording that at least some tonight say they find very troubling. Tom?
Thanks very much. NBC's Robert Hager tonight. And in Turkey tonight, a mixture of grief and exhaustion as that country tries to recover from the latest deadly earthquake. NBC's Ron Allen tonight in Duja, the epicenter of the latest earthquake last Friday. Ron?
Tom, for the search and rescue teams here, the window of opportunity is virtually shut. It's been 80 hours since the quake hit, and there have been no survivors pulled from beneath the rubble since early Sunday. The death toll stands at 452. Many of the foreign rescue teams are pulling out. The Americans here from Fairfax County, Virginia, plan to stay a couple more days to at least help recover more bodies. The focus now is shifting from rescue to relief operations. Turkey's government is trying to move more quickly this time to provide food and especially shelter. The biggest problems here now are the freezing cold weather at night and the fact that there are so many people who are too afraid to return to damaged homes. Strong aftershocks are fueling those fears, along with a lot of wild rumor and speculation about when the next killer quake might strike. Tom?
NBC's Ron Allen tonight in Dusha, Turkey. President Clinton also is in Turkey tonight for a summit of world leaders. At a state dinner in Ankara, he said America is ready to do whatever is needed to help Turkey recover from those devastating earthquakes. Earlier, at the same time, Mr. Clinton was urging more respect for human rights in Turkey. Police were breaking up a demonstration by anti-Clinton protesters. More than 100 people were arrested today. One of the issues that President Clinton and the others will be attempting to deal with this week, Russia's rebellious Republic of Chechnya. Weeks of relentless air and artillery attacks by Russian forces, and tonight, Russian President Boris Yeltsin is defying calls by the international community to put an end to all of those attacks. More now from NBC's Kevin Tibbles.
They're fleeing from Chechnya by the thousands, walking for miles in sub-freezing temperatures, all trying to escape war. Today, 20 towns and cities targeted by the Russian army. Chechnya pounded with bombs and artillery. The Russians say their goal is to stamp out incursions by Islamic terrorists into Russia. But critics say Russia is now waging a full-scale civil war.
In Chechnya, the Russians are attacking the civilian population deliberately. They're just simply indiscriminately bombing.
In the last 7 weeks, 200,000 refugees, 2/3 of the province, have fled. Senior U.S. intelligence officials tell NBC News Russian bombs have killed several thousand and wounded thousands more. Those sources call it indiscriminate brutality.
The tactics being used, quite frankly, are just atrocious. They're genocidal. They're not thinking about the population there.
Today in Moscow, Boris Yeltsin, in a rare public appearance, rejects Western pressure to stop its military offensive. The battle won't stop as long as a single terrorist remains, he says. Public support here for the military offensive is strong. Unlike 1996, the last war Russia fought with Chechen rebels. One reason, Russian TV is censored. The coverage of the Chechen campaign shows the army victorious night after night, and no mention of army or civilian casualties.
There's no free press, basically, especially in TV right now in Russia. It's just simply a brainwash.
The Russian military now seems intent on winning this war at any cost.
Even the President of the United States does not have any influence over trying to stop this war.
Yet President Clinton will try to influence Boris Yeltsin when the two meet one-on-one later this week at a summit in Istanbul. But so far, Boris Yeltsin is only showing signs of hardening his position. Kevin Tibbles, NBC News, Moscow.
When we come back, Lifeline, a medical breakthrough that could actually reverse the brain's aging process. New hope for those with Alzheimer's disease.
It would be a godsend, because I want to get back to as close to normalcy as I can.
This is a revolutionary treatment, but can it reverse the effects of Alzheimer's? That's our in-depth report tonight. And the mating game, why these two pandas are part of a crucial experiment to save their own species from extinction.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received the highest frontal crash rating possible. 5 stars from the federal government. The new Chevy Impala. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Let's go for a drive. I was ashamed of it.
For millions,
I'd actually have to hide.
gas can be a serious problem, but Phazime starts to work on contact. To relieve gas, Phazime Fast.
Phazime, it works just like that.
Relieve gas, Phazime Fast.
There are those among us with very simple tastes. They only want the best. And for them, there's Fancy Feast gourmet cat food. Exceptionally moist and delicious. Fancy Feast. Good taste is easy to recognize.
Problem?
Doctor said my cholesterol is still too high.
What about diet and exercise?
They didn't do enough.
So?
He suggested adding Lipitor.
Lipitor, the #1 prescribed medication for lowering cholesterol. In clinical studies, Lipitor with diet was proven to lower bad cholesterol 39 to 60%, total cholesterol 29 to 45%, triglycerides 19 to 37%.
He said over 4 million people have started taking Lipitor to lower their cholesterol.
Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease or possible liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant.
There'll be blood tests to check for liver problems.
Tell your doctor about muscle pain or weakness, as these may be signs of serious side effects.
You take Lipitor once a day.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist for more information on Lipitor and call 1-888-LIPITOR.
Well?
Lipitor did it. My cholesterol's way down.
Lipitor, the lower numbers your...
New tonight at 6. There's a new way to clean up the Willamette River. For years, sewage has polluted the waters. Now, we'll show you how an ambitious project hopes to change that. Tonight at 6 on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
Meteorologist Matt Sabino, weeknights on News Channel 8.
NBC News in depth tonight, turning back the clock, restoring brain cells killed by devastating disease. An experimental but a new treatment might even be able to reverse the effects of Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia. It strikes 1 in 10 Americans over the age of 65, almost half of those over the age of 85. Each year, an estimated 175,000 people die from this crippling disease. Now, a revolutionary treatment. In depth tonight, here's NBC's Robert Bazell.
Swing low.
When 73-year-old Bud Schenker plays with 15-month-old Joshua, or any of his 5 grandchildren, he talks about how lucky he feels.
We have been very fortunate.
But Schenker, a retired school teacher, is going through the early, terrifying stages of Alzheimer's disease, one of 4 million Americans with this scourge of aging that destroys critical cells in the brain.
My health is okay. The problem is with the Alzheimer's and forgetful, you know.
Schenker forgets his keys, his pills, sometimes even forgets where he is.
It was scary when he started getting lost.
For Schenker, a slim ray of hope. He will be one of the first volunteers for an experimental Alzheimer's treatment from Dr. Mark Toshinsky at the University of California, San Diego. The treatment is based on a revolution in understanding of the brain, a big part taking place nearby in the labs of Dr. Fred Gage at the Salk Institute.
I think it really is an amazing time in brain science.
Researchers find that contrary to what they thought before, the adult brain produces new cells. This time-lapse photography shows new cells growing in a rat's brain. And they know that with the right tools, they can even put more cells into the brain to try to treat conditions like Alzheimer's.
What's important is that we do know that the brain, the adult brain, has the capacity to receive new cells into it and incorporate those new cells into their circuits and can use those as functional cells.
Dr. Toshinsky, together with Gage, already carries out experiments in monkeys. As they age, they normally lose 40% of the brain cells critical for memory. That makes the monkeys much slower at tasks like this one that test memory. The scientists implant genetically engineered cells into the monkeys' brains to stimulate new brain cell growth.
92% recovered their function. So it was a very extensive reversal of the aging process.
Scientists plan to try the anti-aging strategy in humans this spring. They hope to put genetically engineered cells into the brains of people who are at the earliest stages of Alzheimer's disease. People including Bud Schenker.
I'm looking forward. It would be a godsend, because I want to get back to as close to normalcy as I can.
No one is promising the first experimental treatment will help, but everyone hopes the new understanding of the brain will eventually lead to new treatments for this devastating disease. Robert Bazell, NBC News, San Diego.
When we come back, our series Breaking Through, Women on the Job. My conversation with the first woman to head a giant high-tech company in this country.
The hot flashes got pretty bad. Night sweats were ruining my sleep.
Vaginal dryness made intimacy uncomfortable, and I was worried that estrogen loss at menopause could lead to osteoporosis, a long-term health problem. Menopause is complicated. Talking to my doctor helped. For me, she prescribed Prempro. It's relieving my uncomfortable symptoms, and along with calcium and exercise, helping prevent osteoporosis.
Prempro is only for women who have not had a hysterectomy. Prempro is not for every woman. You should not take Prempro if you've had any breast or uterine cancer, abnormal vaginal bleeding, abnormal blood clotting, liver or heart disease, stroke, or if you think or know you are pregnant. Tell your doctor about your personal and family medical history. Side effects include blood clots, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, breast tenderness, irregular bleeding, and headache. For more information, talk to your doctor about Prempro or call.
I'm glad my doctor prescribed Prempro. Now I'm feeling great. For me, it's Prempro.
Out here, am I supposed to say, slow down, I'm constipated? I don't think so. So I rely on doctor-recommended Metamucil. Works with my body, gently, which is important to a sensitive guy like myself.
So in conclusion, I'd like to thank you, shareholders, for taking the time to attend.
Excuse me.
Yes, this is Mr.
Matambo. Looking at your annual report, page 16. Can you explain the implications of floating your long-term debt in a potentially inflationary economy?
When we created a smarter kind of investment firm,
Do you know anything about inventory valuation?
we created a smarter kind of investor.
At Enterprise Rent-A-Car, when you call us, we don't just pick up the phone. We pick you up.
This is great.
Thank you. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
I was about as miserable as a girl could be. Heartburn worse than yesterday's coffee. And pain. My antacid didn't do the whole job. And Pepsid takes so long. Then I tried Alka-Seltzer. It just plain worked better.
Alka-Seltzer, the only one with the medicines to relieve all your symptoms.
It really works fast.
And only Alka-Seltzer has the effervescent power to speed relief.
Alka-Seltzer. It made a believer out of me.
Get better relief. Get Alka-Seltzer.
Tomorrow on Today, Bette Midler, mother, actress, singer, and occasional mermaid. She does it all, but how? That's why they call me Divine. Tomorrow on Today. It's like today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
Tonight, we're getting the first look inside the federal government's $50 million Y2K command center. It's a super high technology war room located near the White House. What are the experts expecting with the big night a little more than 6 weeks away? Here's NBC's Andrea Mitchell.
The stampede today to see ground zero for the turn of the century. The federal government's Y2K control room to track events around the country and the world, including the possibility of Y2K sabotage.
Either cyber terrorists or criminals or recreational weekend hackers.
3,000 miles away, Santa Barbara, California, meeting today on its readiness.
There's always things to improve. We're working on those. So we feel fairly confident that we'll be ready for New Year's Eve.
46 days from the final countdown, the final government report gives the country good marks.
America is well on its way to being Y2K ready.
The $50 million command center, computer hookups to every branch of government. High confidence, they say, in the banking system, nuclear reactors, water, food, and power supplies, transportation.
Are you really confident that you are all ready?
We're confident that the basic infrastructure of the United States is going to function effectively. But we've also been warning people there will be glitches.
The big concern, local governments. In fact, federal planners say 50% of local 911 operations are not fully ready. And the General Accounting Office says 1/3 of the nation's school systems are still working on their computers. Exactly why outside critics are worried.
The bottom line is that most communities in America are not yet ready for Y2K with only 6 weeks left to go. That there's an enormous amount of work yet to be done.
Using this report card, Dean's group graded 55 cities. Almost flunked Santa Barbara, gave it a D. But today, Santa Barbara says it has tested its computers, its water system, its 911 response, even the traffic lights.
I'm confident that we have addressed every possible problem.
Federal planners say many local governments are cutting it much too close, while others are simply waiting to see if something breaks on New Year's Eve and then try to fix it. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Washington.
Tonight, more in our series, Breaking Through Women on the Job. In Las Vegas, this is the start of Comdex, the annual big computer show. And this year, a new star, Carly Fiorina, the new CEO of Hewlett-Packard, the computer giant that experts say relies too much on yesterday, not enough on tomorrow. So Fiorina is there to take it into the future. The first woman to run a major high-tech company that's also part of the Dow 30, the movers and shakers in American business.
Good morning.
It's been
How's
4
everybody?
months since Carly Fiorina took charge at Hewlett-Packard, the second largest computer company in the world.
We have to be bolder. We have to be more aggressive.
Especially when you are commanding an army of 87,000 workers in 40 countries producing almost $50 billion in high-tech equipment. The 45-year-old Fiorina had a big reputation as a marketing genius and decisive risk-taker at AT&T. That made her the top choice to command a high-tech turnaround. Since the mid-90s, Hewlett-Packard's profits have slowed. Now she faces fierce competition that is squeezing the company's bottom line.
I didn't come in here expecting to just be a caretaker. We have an opportunity and an obligation to really now make technology accessible and easy to use for everybody.
Fiorina wants to talk about products and the company's future, but talk of her gender will not go away.
I frankly find it amazing that it's gotten so much attention.
One of the things that you've said that I think has raised a lot of eyebrows among women is that you said that there's no glass ceiling.
In high technology, competitive industries, I don't believe there is, because I believe competitive industries are now woken up to the fact that they can't afford bias.
Fiorina stands alone. The high-tech industry is slower than most to promote women. Only 7% of the executives in the largest high-tech companies are women, compared to 11% in Fortune 500 companies overall. Her husband took early retirement to offer support at home. Is that a model for other couples?
I would certainly not want to predict how other women will choose to do it.
But this tough-minded executive has come a long way.
Well, this is not the life I would have predicted. I thought I was going to be a lawyer like my dad.
Her parents taught her there are no limits for women. After studying medieval history and philosophy in college, she dropped out of law school and drifted to West Africa and Italy, where she taught English in Bologna.
All of that experience at a fairly young age, I think, gave me a perspective on what the rest of the world was like.
Now she hopes to use that perspective to earn big profits if she can reposition Hewlett-Packard as a major intersection on the internet, where hardware and software take you to new places. What will this little device, if I put it in my car, do for me?
You as a person and your car as a place or a thing is connected to the web. The reality is that it is still viewed by too many people as cyberspace, and that word implies alien, foreign, hard to survive. I believe
Fiorina intends to survive by staying focused on the business at hand. In the high-tech jungle, she gets no extra points for gender. Only the strong and smart survive, man or woman. And on Wall Street today, on the eve of a Federal Reserve policy-making meeting that could bring another interest rate hike, investors stayed on the sidelines for the most part today. The Dow finished down 8.5 points. NASDAQ was down almost 2 points today. I'll be right back with the first pictures of two pandas in this country on a serious research mission.
It's time for your heartburn to kick in because your heartburn relief gave out. It happens 2 or more days a week, even though you've treated it and changed your diet. That frequent, persistent heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease, potentially serious.
It's Prilosec time. Time to see your doctor about prescription Prilosec. Your results may vary, but for many people, Prilosec provides 24 hours of complete heartburn relief with 1 daily dose. Ask your doctor for more information about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. 24 hours of complete heartburn relief is possible. It's Prilosec time.
This Social Security measure.
In 1935, FDR helped millions of Americans retire with less worry. Today, we're picking up where he left off.
Introducing the Retirement Income Manager from T. Rowe Price, a unique advisory service that helps you determine how much of your retirement savings you can comfortably spend each month for the rest of your life. The Retirement Income Manager. We believe FDR would have approved. Call 1-800-341-0040 for more information.
I hate this cold, dry weather. Makes my scalp itch worse.
That's scalp stress itch.
When I blow dry, my scalp itch gets intense.
That's scalp stress itch.
Things like this. What an itch.
That's scalp stress itch. And this is what stops it. Scalpicin. Clean, unscented, medicated. To stop scalp stress itch.
Fast.
Scalpicin stops scalp stress itch.
Want to help with the dishes?
No. I'll make dessert.
Okay.
New Pillsbury One-Step Brownie in its own ready-to-bake pan. Just pop it in the oven.
Brownies.
And eat. With new Pillsbury One-Step Brownie, a great dessert is just one step away.
Thanks for your help.
Don't mention it.
Now there's a Chevy Venture with flip and fold seats and a built-in entertainment system.
I knew I should have taken a left turn at Albuquerque.
Fun things are bound to happen when Chevy and Warner Brothers get together. Introducing the new Warner Brothers edition from Chevy Venture, the most versatile minivan ever. One quick call can help you learn more.
Let's go!
What was it about Elvis Aaron Presley that made him the world's first rock star?
Headliners and Legends with Matt Lauer, tonight on MSNBC.
This weekend on National Geographic Explore, fly with the dinosaurs, then dive deep to discover treasures 25 centuries old. Explore, Saturday and Sundays on CNBC.
In Atlanta tonight, the first look at America's new visitors from China, a pair of giant pandas that will go on public display in Zoo Atlanta's multi-million-dollar exhibit this weekend. Of course, they're guaranteed to draw crowds, but zoo officials are also involved in major efforts to save them from extinction. Here's NBC's Bob Dotson.
These two pandas are more than just a tourist attraction. They are part of a crucial experiment. In the mountains of southwest China, only about 1,000 pandas remain. Scientists predict the species could disappear next century if we don't find a way to help pandas reproduce in captivity. Scientists have been trying for years with little success. These two pandas could help them answer a troubling question. For the next 10 years, scientists at Zoo Atlanta will test whether the rush to breed more pandas is actually limiting their number. In captivity, cubs are often taken from their mothers. Are they being separated too soon before they learn how to reproduce themselves?
When you remove a baby early from its mother, that affects its social behavior and particularly its reproductive behavior later in life.
Researcher Rebecca Snyder has been studying these pandas since they were born 2 years ago in China. Yang Yang, the male, was allowed to stay with his mother as long as he would in the wild, more than a year. Lun Lun was separated at 4 months, standard practice with pandas in captivity, to allow mothers to breed again more quickly. Snyder saw an immediate difference in behavior.
Between the age of about 4 and 12 months, she was just much less active than he was.
Atlanta Zoo officials have seen that before, with gorillas. Zoo director Terry Maple.
Zoos in America, for many years, were pulling gorillas away from their mothers too early.
Scientists found those that stayed longer had many more offspring when they grew up. Keeping panda cubs with their mother may even be more critical. In the wild, they rarely see other pandas. They are raised alone, one at a time, live a life of isolation and solitude.
Ultimately, a panda has to learn how to be a panda.
Lun Lun and Yang Yang have been together all their lives. The first time scientists have paired pandas at birth.
It's actually stressful for them sometimes to be too close to another of their own kind because it's not natural and normal for them.
That's why it's critical for pandas to become more comfortable with one another before they all disappear. Bob Dotson, NBC News, Atlanta.
That's nightly news for this Monday night. Don't forget Dateline NBC tonight at 10, 9 Central. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
from KGW, where the news comes first. This is Northwest News Channel 8 at 6.
An 18-wheeler crosses the center line and crashes head-on into a Toyota. 2 people are dead, including an 8-year-old child. That is our top story. Hello, I'm Tracy Berry.
I'm Carol Jensen. Thank you for joining us tonight. That accident has shut down a major road to the coast. It is Oregon Highway 18 near Sheridan, and accidents there are certainly not uncommon. News Channel 8's Krista Vasquez is at the scene, and she has more tonight. Krista?
Carol, 9 fatalities on Highway 18 this year, and the story unfolding tonight here in Sheridan is an extremely sad one. A